Hey guys, welcome back to Fair Iron & Customs. I'm Michael. Hope everyone is having a fabulous week. Today's Sunday, it's Mother's Day, so I've been out here in the shop just a little bit this afternoon. What I'm working on is the block-off plate to go on the side of that intake manifold. What I did was made a little template, the shape of the block-off plate, and I'm just chopping it out right now. I was actually on the phone with my mom talking to her for a little while I was doing that. So we're going to get this piece chopped out and get this piece put on, and that's where we're starting. I've actually pulled the left side header off. I've still got to weld all of the pipes. So we're just kind of having a lazy day today, get a little bit done, get ready to go back, do the work thing next week. Let's see what we can get done. Alright dudes, there's my little bracket. I just transferred it over. We're not getting crazy. I was going to use my bandsaw, my vertical bandsaw to cut this with, but the blade is dull. So got a little wild with that hole right there. It's about one size too big. The bolts in that that held that on are 1/4 20, so that'll mean we won't have trouble finding bolts. God, that is hot. Alright guys, we gotta let that cool. It's too hot to touch. Okay guys, here's where the choke mounted on that, let me see if I can get this right. It was a Holley 2140, but it's the early Holley. The later Holley, the choke was mounted different on the 4000 Holley. So this hole right here and this hole right here run into your exhaust crossover. I just built this plate to cover those two holes up. Now we could have gotten plugs, pipe plugs to go in there. I may actually take and I'm going to round that edge over because it doesn't fit very well, and then we'll come back. But I'm going to glue that up. And what we're using, just ultra copper, high temperature RTV. All right. We'll get that done, we'll come back. Okay guys, there it is. I could probably get a rag and wipe some of that silicone off. It ain't bothering me terribly. This bolt, they were all 1/4 20. This one I had to cut off to about a 1/2 inch. I don't know if that's a blind hole, and it may be because, I don't know why it would be. Because if you look at the layout of this manifold, you've got one port goes to the top and one side goes to the bottom, and of course it's dual plane, so there's a plane over here and a plane over here, so half the carburetor feeds 4 cylinders and the other half feeds the other 4 cylinders. That's another thing too guys, if you got a weird problem that's affecting 4 cylinders and it's on the same side, if it's like 1, 2, and 2 over here and 2 over there, you may need to look into it being a problem with half of the carburetor not running like it's supposed to on a dual plane manifold. On a single plane manifold, of course, you'd be able to kind of balance that out. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop here for today. Okay guys, I did some recording yesterday, or actually the day before, and I didn't turn the mic on, so lost all lost all of the audio on that. So I'm in the middle of rebuilding this carburetor. Y'all have seen me build a carburetor before. There's some adjustments we're going to have to make on down the line. I'm gonna get this thing put together. I'm gonna turn the fan on. It's gonna be noisy, so we'll get this put together and then we'll come back. Something I tried to show you in the video was I welded up, fixed and welded up these where the tubes go into the flanges, and I actually bolted them or clamped them to a flat surface because the other one warped. Now it's going to be interesting. Why don't we go ahead and unhook that and see if it warps. I thought about actually taking and putting like a piece of shim under this end and clamping it in the middle. That way, because the other one warped, it warped like this. So that would, you know, naturally put some spring in it to help take the warp out. Let's see. Trying to get y'all set up where y'all can see. Alright, so let's see if y'all can see on the camera if that did any good. Oh yeah, we got just a little spring. That's a whole lot better than the other one was. The other one wasn't bad enough that the middle bolt couldn't pull it up, but it did have some warp to it. So I'm going to get this carburetor rebuilt, and we're coming back. Okay guys, I got the carburetor built. I've got ourselves wired up here. Just a positive run to the forward solenoid switch, which you have a hot, and it doesn't matter, it can go either side, because all this does is it's a pull-in winding that pulls a contact in and joins these two tips together to put positive down to the starter. You have an S terminal, which is where your start wire goes. You have an I terminal. You would use the I terminal if you were running points, and this is to bypass the ballast resistor on points. So you can put 12 volts directly on your coil to bypass the ballast resistor. Now I've already set it up on top dead center one time. We're going to do this again. So I just got the remote switch hooked up on a Y block. The left bank is the furthest forward, but number one is on the right side. So you just I don't know if y'all heard it. The compression come out. I did find the timing marks, and I looked them up, and it looks like they probably pulled the bouncer off with a mercury. I probably need to get a paint pencil or something and mark that so I can see it. Yep, there it is right here. Let me pull it up and set it on top dead center. I've got all the plugs out of this motor right now, and I'm hoping the starter kicks out when the motor starts, but it's acting stupid. Alright. Alright. I have it set on about 2 degrees right now. So I don't know if y'all can see the marks down in there. Let me see if you guys can see the marks. They're right there. And they're lined up. I got it on probably 2 to 4 degrees. It can come around just a little more. Alright, sorry about the fan, guys. It is hot and humid. I think it was up to 90 today. So, what was I saying? Oh, if you remember when we pulled the distributor out, the oil pump push rod came out with the distributor. That's not good. The oil pump push rod should stay in the block on most V8s. I assume that a Y block is the same way. I know on a small block Ford and a small block Chevy, you have a clip that keeps the pump rod from coming up out of the block, because if it comes up out of the block, it can fall down in the oil pan, and that'll cause a mess. I'm going to go grab the pump push rod, and we're going to try to get this distributor stuck in and hope we don't drop it. Okay guys, I don't know how much I missed that last section. The camera did something weird, but I got this thing wired up and tested the fire, and we're ready to fire. So I thought I had some gas here at the house, but I do not. So what I'm going to do tonight, we're going to bust this thing up. We're going to try to bust off of brake cleaner. This is acetone. You have two kinds of brake cleaner. One is flammable, one is not flammable. Non-flammable brake cleaner has got chlorine in it, and it burns and creates chemical warfare, pretty much phosgene gas. So do not use chlorine gas to try to start something new. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay guys, I had 8 and 6 backwards in firing order. That was when the popping back. That sounded lazy, so we're going to give it a little more timing. Here I kick back, it's timed up too high now. Alright guys, I ain't got no gas, but we're about to remedy that because I want to hear this thing. Alright guys, off camera I tried to prime the fuel pump on this thing and the fuel pump's just not working. So I'm not sure if we're going to go with a click-clack or if I'm just going to order a mechanical pump. We're just pulling an old, we're taking a note from the old great Houdini here and taking a soda bottle, popping a hole in the top of it, and filling the bowls up from the top. We're not going to run this thing long. We don't have water in it. So, I mean, and you can literally run these things for, 10, 15 minutes with a coolant on. I have driven around a little bit with a coolant on before, but, yeah. The whole neighborhood showed up. Guys, we're having fuel delivery issues.
I ain't got no gas.
Let me get a fuel pump and maybe
I
next
got no
week
gas.
fire it up again and see if we can get it idle. But it's running. It sounds like it's running on all the way. All right, dudes. That's it for this week. She made some noise. The wife's hollering. If you can't hear that, Mrs. Iron and Customs is sending out her seal of approval. Anyway, I'll see y'all next week.